My child, you believe you have secrets. You carry memories that live in the locked rooms of your heart, behind doors you've sworn never to open, the shame you swallowed when you were alone in the dark, the fear that gripped you in that moment no one else witnessed, the tears you wiped away before anyone could ask, "What's wrong?" The dream you buried because you were told it was foolish, the pain you disguised with a smile at the family gathering, the anger you turned inward because you had nowhere safe to put it. You have edited your own story, creating a cleaner, simpler, more acceptable version to present to the world. You think this hidden archive is yours alone. You are wrong. I have been the silent witness to every single page. I was there in the room you remember so vividly. I saw the light fall across the floor, the shadows on the wall. I heard the words that were spoken, and more importantly, I heard the words that were left unsaid, the ones that cut you the deepest. I felt the temperature of your silent tears as they traced a path down your cheek. I counted every heartbeat of panic, every shuddering breath you took when you thought you were completely alone. I witnessed the courage it took for you to simply get out of bed on mornings when the weight felt like lead. I saw you choose kindness when you had every right to be cruel. I watched you whisper a prayer of help when your faith felt smaller than a mustard seed. You have never truly been alone, not in your greatest triumph, and certainly not in your deepest shame. While you've been carefully curating the museum of your public self, I have been in the back rooms, the archives, tenderly preserving the truth of you, the raw, unedited, unfiltered truth. Every suppressed sob is recorded, every silent plea is filed, every act of secret integrity, every time you did the right thing when no human applause was coming, is celebrated in heaven with a joy you cannot yet imagine. You think these hidden things disqualify you. You believe that if anyone truly knew the content of those locked rooms, they would turn away. So you have turned away from them yourself. You avoid your own eyes in the mirror. You rush past the quiet moments where the memories might surface. You have built a life on the foundation of never speak of it. But here is the sacred, liberating truth. I have seen it all, and I have not turned away. My gaze has not flinched. My heart has not cooled. My commitment to you has not wavered for a single second. My love is not based on the sanitized version you offer the world. It is based on the full, known, and still cherished reality of who you are. That night you cried yourself to sleep, I sang over you. That afternoon you endured the subtle cruelty with grace. I was your shield. That moment you forgave in your heart someone who never even asked for it. I marked it as a triumph. The secret battles you fight in the landscape of your mind, the arguments you win against bitterness, the lies you reject about your worth, these are not invisible. They are the front lines of your destiny, and I am your commander, witnessing every act of valor. You carry this archive like a hidden wound, but I carry it as a sacred story. The chapters you wish you could tear out are, in my hands, the very pages that reveal the themes of resilience, of mercy, of a grace that is shaping you in the hidden places. You are not defined by what happened to you in secret. You are being refined by how you have endured it, and by the fact that you never endured it alone. So today, I speak this over you. You are fully known, and in that knowing you are fully loved. The door to those rooms does not need to stay locked in fear of my judgment. It can be opened in the safety of my presence. You do not have to speak a word. You can simply sit with me in the quiet and let the truth that I already know be the bridge between your hidden heart and my healing light. The archive is safe with me. Let me begin to show you what I see when I look at it. Because I have seen what you never told anyone, I have also understood what you could never put into words. Your silence was not empty. It was a language. The tightness in your throat when you forced a smile, that was a sentence. The way you stared blankly out the window, feeling nothing, that was a paragraph. The nightmare that startled you awake, leaving you in a cold sweat of wordless dread. That was a chapter. You have been speaking to me in a dialect of anguish, and I have been fluent in it since before the foundation of the world. Human words can be lies. They can be masks. They can be tools to keep others at a safe distance. But the raw, unfiltered data of your spirit, the physiological response of your heartbreaking, the neurological imprint of your trauma, the soul-deep sigh of your weariness, this is a truth-telling language that bypasses all pretense. I have been listening to this biography written on your nervous system. I have read the story in your elevated cortisol, in your sleepless nights, in the way your body carries the memory of every burden. You didn't need to formulate a prayer. Your very being was a cry, and I heard it. Let's translate some of it together. That sudden, inexplicable anxiety that floods you in a crowded room. I know its origin. It's not a chemical malfunction. It is the echo of a time you felt overwhelmingly unseen or unsafe in a group. Your spirit is remembering, and I am here in the present, speaking peace to that old wound. That deep-seated feeling of being an imposter, no matter your success. I see its root. It is the scar tissue from a moment you were made to feel fundamentally not enough, and you have been trying to prove otherwise ever since. I am here to tell you that your worth is my settled decree, not your fluctuating achievement. You have secret questions you've been afraid to ask, even in prayer. God, do you see how unfair this was? Do you know how much this still hurts? Do you understand why I can't just get over it? Your silent tears have been asking these questions for years, and today I give you the answers. Yes, I see. Yes, I know. Yes, I understand. My understanding is not a detached analysis. It is an empathetic knowing, forged in the person of Jesus, who was a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. He felt the weight of every unspoken agony in the Garden of Gethsemane. His sweat became like great drops of blood, a physiological, spiritual response to the crushing weight of the world's silent pain. He speaks your language fluently because he lived it. Now, I want to show you the other side of this silent ledger. I have also witnessed every secret victory. The time you chose to bless someone who hurt you and told no one. The time you resisted a temptation that no one would have ever known about. The time you gave your last bit of energy to a cause, your last bit of money to a need, and deleted the receipt from your own memory so you wouldn't be tempted by pride. These acts are not small to me. They are monumental. They are the evidence of my spirit at work in the most authentic place, your secret inner world, where you are not performing for anyone's approval. The kingdom of heaven is built on these unseen stones of private obedience. This is why your hidden life is so precious to me. It is the most real part of you. It is the control room where your true choices are made. And I have had a front row seat to your courage there. While you've been focused on the silent struggles, I have been celebrating the silent strengths. So, begin today to see your own heart through my eyes. That ache is not just a wound. It is a point of contact for my healing. That fear is not just a weakness. It is an invitation for my perfect love to cast it out. That secret kindness you performed is not insignificant. It is a treasure stored up in heaven. You are not a locked archive of pain. You are a living document, written in a language of profound depth, and I am your most attentive, compassionate reader. The next step is not to explain yourself to me. It is to let me explain you to yourself, to show you the meaning, the purpose, and the sacred dignity I see in every line of your unspoken story. Let's turn the page together. You are beginning to see that I understand the language of your silence. Now I want to show you what I have been doing with all that I have witnessed. You see your hidden memories as scattered, painful fragments, shards of glass from a broken window, sharp and disconnected. You walk carefully, afraid to touch them, believing they can only cut you. But in my hands, these are not shards. They are threads. Precious, specific, and strong. And while you have been hiding them, I have been at the loom of your destiny, weaving every single one, the dark threads of pain and the golden threads of secret strength, into a tapestry of breathtaking purpose. That moment of betrayal you never confessed, it is not a stain on your fabric. It is a dark, sturdy thread I am using to create contrast, to give depth to the pattern of forgiveness I am teaching you to wear. That childhood dream you tucked away in shame, it is not dead. It is a vibrant thread, temporarily set aside, now being picked up and integrated into a far grander design than your childhood mind could conceive. The private fear that whispers you are not enough, that very thread is being woven into the border of the tapestry, where it will be surrounded and held secure by threads of my unwavering affirmation. You think your hidden history disqualifies you from a beautiful future. I am using it as the essential raw material to construct a future that is resilient, compassionate, and uniquely yours. A tapestry made only of light, cheerful threads is flat and lacks substance. It is the dark threads that give it dimension, that make the image stand out, that tell a story of overcoming. Your story is not being erased. It is being incorporated into a masterpiece. Consider Joseph again. The pit, the slavery, the false accusation. These were dark, terrifying threads in the hands of his brothers and Potiphar's wife. But in my hands, they became the crucial strands that positioned him in Egypt, that taught him administration, that forged his character. So that when the famine came, he was the woven together man who could save nations. The very threads meant for his destruction became the threads of his destiny and the salvation of his family. Your hidden pains are your Egyptian threads. They feel like exile, but they are positioning. This weaving requires trust from you. It requires you to surrender the threads. You are still clutching some of them, especially the sharp, painful ones, believing you must control them or hide them forever. But a thread clenched in a fist cannot be woven. I ask you today, open your hand. Let me take the thread of that secret shame. Let me take the thread of that unspoken regret. Do not worry. I will not discard them. I will transform their place in the pattern. I will weave them alongside the thread of my grace, so that instead of a bare, painful spot, there becomes a complex, beautiful point of redemption that becomes the strongest part of the fabric. The process is not always comfortable. The loom moves. Tension is required to create a tight, lasting weave. The feeling of being pulled and stretched right now is not a sign of abandonment. It is the sign of the weaver at work, integrating a new thread, a new revelation of my love, a new season of challenge, into the existing pattern. You are not coming apart. You are being woven together. And here is the most hopeful part. The back of the tapestry is visible only to me. From your side, you sometimes see only knots, loose ends, and a confusing tangle of colors. It seems messy, chaotic, without a clear picture. You are looking at the wrong side of my work. From my side, I see the full emerging portrait, the image of my son being formed in you. I see the glory. I see the completed picture. Your job is not to understand the knots, but to trust the weaver. So today, when a hidden memory surfaces, do not panic and stuff it back down. Offer it to me. Say, "Here, Lord, this thread, weave it." When you feel the tension of a circumstance you don't understand, instead of fighting it, whisper, "I trust the tension of the loom." You are not a pile of disconnected threads. You are a holy tapestry in progress, and I will not stop weaving until the masterpiece is complete. The picture is more beautiful than you can imagine, and every single secret thread has its perfect, purposeful place. Because I have seen and I am weaving, there now comes a sacred moment of validation. You have lived a life of unwitnessed sacrifices, unseen acts of integrity, and private battles where no one handed you a medal. You have wondered if any of it mattered. If your quiet faithfulness in the dark, was just wasted energy. You have questioned the worth of the love you gave that was never reciprocated, the prayers you whispered that seemed to go unanswered, the days you simply endured when no one was there to say, "I see how hard this is for you." Today, I speak validation over every single one of those moments. They mattered. They were not lost. They were deposited. Each one was a sacred coin placed into the treasury of your eternal account, gathering compound interest in the realm of the spirit. While human applause fades in a day, the echo of a secret obedience reverberates in heaven for eternity. Let me be specific. That time you got down on your knees and cleaned up a mess you didn't make, with a resentful heart that you offered to me anyway. I saw the sacrifice in that. It was recorded as an act of worship. That night you lay awake, burdened for a friend you hadn't spoken to in years, and you interceded for them. I heard that prayer. It set angelic forces in motion on their behalf. That moment you chose honesty when a lie would have been easier and undetectable. I witnessed that integrity. It fortified a pillar of your character that will one day hold up a roof of great responsibility. You have been measuring your life by visible metrics, likes, accolades, bank statements, visible progress. I measure it by the invisible metrics of the heart: faithfulness, perseverance, purity of motive, sacrificial love. And by these metrics, you are far richer, far more successful than you have ever dared to believe. The most important parts of your life have happened off stage, in the dressing room of your soul, where only I am present. And I am the most important audience. This validation is not just a comforting sentiment, it is a transfer of authority. Your secret sufferings have earned you a voice in those areas. Your private victories have granted you spiritual authority. The parent who prayed in secret for a wayward child has more authority in the heavenly court over that child's destiny than the most eloquent public preacher. The person who fought depression behind a closed door with nothing but a thread of faith now carries an anointing to pull others out of that pit. Your unwitnessed life has been your ordination. I am about to make the private public, not to embarrass you, but to employ you. The wisdom you gained in secret will soon be needed in the open. This is why the enemy works so hard to make you feel foolish for your private faithfulness. He wants to devalue the currency of your secret obedience. He wants you to believe the lie that, if no one sees it, it doesn't count. That lie is a theft of your future authority. Reject it. Your hidden life is the foundation of your public calling. A building with no foundation cannot rise high. I have been building a deep, unseen foundation in you through every unseen act of trust. So receive my validation now. Let it wash over you like a warm, cleansing flood. You do not need to remember every instance. I have kept the books. The balance is overwhelmingly in your favor. The ledgers of heaven show a life of profound courage, not of failure. When you feel the enemy's accusation, point him to my ledger. His case against you is dismissed for lack of evidence, because the evidence, the truth of your heart, is sealed with me. Now, walk with a new kind of confidence. It is not the arrogance of public achievement, but the quiet assurance of one who knows they are fully known and fully approved by the only judge who matters. Your shoulders can straighten. You can look in the mirror and meet the eyes of someone who has walked through fire with God and survived, not just survived, but been sanctified by the flames. The unwitnessed life is over. It is now being witnessed by me and pronounced good. From this validation, your true voice, your true strength, your true purpose will now emerge. The curtain is rising on a new act, and you walk onto the stage already applauded by heaven. Validation has been spoken. The ledgers of heaven have been opened to your spirit. Now, a profound shift occurs within you, a shift from hiding to integrity. For so long you have lived in a divided house, the curated self you present to the world and the hidden, unspoken self you protect in fear. This division is the source of your deepest exhaustion. The energy required to maintain the gap between who you are and who you pretend to be is draining the very life from your bones. You are tired, not from work, but from the performance. Today, I issue a decree of emancipation. The performance is over. You are free to be the person I have always seen. This is not a call to publicly confess every secret. That is between us and the wisdom I give you. This is an internal spiritual liberation. It is the moment you stop running from your own reality and instead bring it into the light of my presence where it has always been safe. You are stepping out of the shadows of shame and into the unity of a soul at peace with itself, because it is at peace with its God. This liberation feels like a deep, releasing breath you didn't know you were holding. It is the unclenching of your heart. The walls you built to protect your secrets were also walls that imprisoned you. I'm not tearing them down violently. I'm simply showing you that the door out of that prison has always been unlocked from the inside. The key was your acceptance of my total knowledge and total love. You are using that key now. Think of the woman at the well. She came alone at the hottest part of the day to avoid the judging eyes of those who knew her reputation. She lived a hidden, shame-filled life. And Jesus, in one conversation, named her reality. You have had 5 husbands, and the man you now have is not your husband. He saw what she never told anyone in that town. But he did not say it to condemn her. He said it to liberate her. By speaking her hidden truth in the context of unconditional love, he freed her from its power. She was so liberated that she ran back to the very town she had been avoiding, not to hide, but to proclaim, "Come, see a man who told me everything I ever did." Her shame was transformed into her testimony because it was met with knowing love, not with rejection. This is your moment at the well. I have named your reality in the private spaces of your spirit. I have said, I see the 5 husbands of your past failures, your broken relationships, your secret compromises. I see the man who is not your husband, the thing you are settling for that is not my covenant promise for you. I have said it not to shame you, but to separate you from the identity of those things. You are not your secrets. You are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased, precisely because I know the whole story, and I have chosen you anyway. Now walk in this integrity. Let your yes be yes, and your no be no, not just with others, but with yourself. When you feel afraid, admit it to me, not as a failure of faith, but as an invitation for my perfect love to fill that space. When you feel joy, let it be pure, not filtered through the worry of what others might think. Your inner and outer life are coming into alignment under the gentle, firm hand of my grace. This unified life is your greatest power. It makes you unmanipulatable. The enemy's primary tactics are accusation and shame, aimed at your hidden things. But when you live in the conscious reality that I know all and love you completely, his accusations become meaningless noise. He has no leverage. You are hidden in Christ, and your past is hidden in his wounds. Your secrets are safe, not in the darkness of your suppression, but in the brilliant healing light of the cross. So breathe. The performance is over. The director has called you off the exhausting stage of pretense and into the green room of his rest. You are not the role you played. You are the actor, beloved and known. And now, you are free to receive the next truest role I have for you, not as a character, but as your authentic, integrated, and finally free self. The liberation is not a one-time event. It is a posture, a way of living, a breathing in the atmosphere of grace. Welcome home to your own soul. You are free. You are validated. You are woven together and fully known. This journey through the hidden rooms of your heart has reached its destination, but it is not a terminus. It is a launch pad. To be fully known and fully loved by God is not an end in itself. It is the ultimate empowerment for purpose. Your secrets, once a source of shame, are now a source of strength. Your silent tears, once a language of isolation, are now a dialect you share with a suffering world. The very things you thought would disqualify you have become your unique credentials in my kingdom. I now commission you, my fully known child. I am sending you back into the world, not to hide, but to heal. Not as a former prisoner of your past, but as a liberated ambassador of my grace. You will now recognize the look in the eyes of others, the flicker of hidden pain, the shadow of a secret they are carrying. And because you have sat with me in the safety of being known, you will be able to offer them a sanctuary of non-judgment. You will not need to pry. You will simply need to be present and say with your spirit, "It's safe here. You are seen, and you are loved." Your very presence will become a living invitation for others to bring their hidden things into my light. This is the final, glorious transformation. Your testimony is no longer what was done to you or what you did. Your testimony is now who knew you and loved you anyway. That is the message that shatters chains. People can argue with doctrine. They can resist preaching. But they cannot refute a life that has been liberated by radical, knowing love. You are that living argument. Your freedom is your gospel. Therefore, walk with a new authority, the authority of authenticity. You have nothing left to prove and nothing left to hide. This makes you incredibly dangerous to the kingdom of darkness and incredibly effective in the kingdom of light. You can walk into rooms without pretense, loved by your Father, and that settled love will displace atmospheres of fear and performance. You will pray with power because your prayers come from a heart that trusts my goodness from a place of total transparency. You will love with courage because you are no longer afraid of being truly seen. Your past, once a locked archive, is now an open resource. Not for casual display, but for strategic ministry. The specific pain you endured is now a map you carry to lead others out of that same territory. The private weakness you overcame is now a weapon you wield to pull down that stronghold in someone else's life. I will bring people to you who are trapped in the very rooms you once thought were your solitary prison. And you will not just sympathize. You will be able to say, "I know the way out. Follow me." So go. Carry this message in your bones. God sees what you never told anyone, and He is closer in that secret place than your next breath. His knowing is not a prelude to judgment, but an invitation to freedom. You are no longer a secret keeper. You are a freedom bearer. You are no longer defined by what was hidden. You are defined by the God who found you there. The final page of your hidden story has been turned. A new volume begins today. Write it with the bold, liberated, and authentically beautiful pen of a soul that is fully known, fully loved, and now fully sent. Amen.